YouTube, it's Ben, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to set up a perfect email follow-up campaign. Got me falling right Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out another one of my YouTube videos. Super appreciate all of those that have subscribed. If you haven't, subscribe and drop a like on this video. This is one of the most important things in recruiting and staffing. Email follow-up. Generally, email is the most important thing in your arsenal, and it's super important to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And I did a video probably about a year ago where I actually calculated that I had $200,000 in revenue within that calendar year just based on follow-up emails alone. That says something. So follow-up email is super, super important. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to craft out a really, really good email sequence follow-up campaign so that you can know exactly how to set up your own so that you can follow up with your clients and prospects and get them to inevitably do business with you. So let's hop in and let's get to following up.
All right, guys, so we are right inside my computer right now. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up a good follow-up campaign that will get you leads. Now, there's a couple of really important things to notate kind of before we start, right? So one thing that's super, super important is that when you do a follow-up campaign and you're sending out a sequence of emails, that's what a follow-up campaign is. If you're new to this kind of thing, it's a sequence of emails, right? And I generally go about 7 emails long, and I set them 4 days apart. Meaning email 1 goes out on day 1, email 2 goes out 4 days later, and so on and so forth, all the way to 7 emails until I get a response or don't get a response. And there's a couple things that you do, along the way. If you don't get a response from a handful of your prospects that you've emailed, which will definitely happen, you're not going to get a ton of responses, right? Unless you have awesome emails and awesome subject lines, which goes into split testing, which we will talk about. But basically, the game of it is setting up really, really good campaigns so that people do respond to you. If they don't, you want to put those emails away somewhere in a file and store them in an Excel file or in your CRM or something, and label them or tag them as someone that you'll get to in 6 months or 3 months or whenever you want to reactivate that campaign, because people will come back around. Trust me, it's happened way more than I can count. So imagine that you're running Sales Navigator and you did a search of some sort, right? So you did a search for, this is just one I have in my history, right? So you did a search, you ran maybe Lead Leaper or something like that, and you grabbed a ton of emails, right? I've already done this so that I can set this up, and I already put these particular emails inside my CRM, which, by the way, I'm using All Pro Web Tools. All Pro is the CRM that I use to send out emails. It's just super, super easy for me. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to marketing, and I'm going to go to marketing campaigns, okay, to set this email follow-up sequence up. Now, when I get in here, right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tag which leads I want to go into my campaign, right? So, you can make a billion different tags. These are just 4 in here, but you can have a ton of different tags, right? For instance, if you pulled a list of manufacturing leads, financial, IT, whatever it might be, right? I specifically am going to go into this LinkedIn list leads. These are some leads that I pulled real quick, just for example purposes. I'm going to name my campaign. I'm going to name that test campaign. Keep in mind, your prospects are not going to see this part, right? No, they're also not going to see that they're tagged as anything either, so don't worry about that. We're going to set up a trigger. So a trigger is basically what sets off the campaign, what starts it, right? In this particular case, with this CRM, it's going to be manual. So that's basically going to be me setting it off. And so the way I'm going to do it is I've got everything here in place. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing by hitting the plus sign. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the bells and whistles on this CRM. I'm just going to kind of run through it and tell you what I'm doing, right? So this is the test campaign right here. The trigger is manual. And so I've got it set up with the proper list that I want it to send to. Here's where the fun happens, right? So this is where we edit the actions. Now, an action is basically an email that gets sent out, right? So when I hit edit actions, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to select a message, right? And I want that specific message to be an email, not a text or a task or anything. It's going to be an email. And I'm going to select from a handful of emails, right? I got a lot of emails in here. But I specifically have example email 1. And I'm going to set it to go out ASAP, right? So that's how I'm doing this manually. I'm manually setting the trigger to go ASAP. So my email number 1 is going to go out right away. So I'm going to set that action up immediately. So that's literally happening ASAP. I'm going to select the wait time, right? Which is going to be 4 days, right? So add that wait time for my next action because it's going to send example email 1 ASAP. Then it's going to wait 4 days. And then I have my next action, right? So my next action is going to be my next email. Go figure. It's going to be example email number 2, right? And I'm going to select a time on this one. So at this point, I'm now selecting when I want people to receive the email. So I'm actually going to say 9 a.m. for this one. So it's a pretty good time for people to receive emails, although lots of people will debate on email times, but I'm going to go with that, right? I'm going to select a time and I'm going to go 4 days as far as my wait time. So again, I'm going to send out a sequence of 7 emails. I'm actually not going to do that on this campaign. It'll just take way too long. But 7 emails, right, would be optimal right here because generally it takes around 6 to 8 touches. That could be an email, a text message, a call, something on LinkedIn, a note, whatever, for someone to actually react, to give you a response, let alone to convert, sign a contract, and give you some roles. So you got to be patient, right? So, but you also want to be aggressive. And I think 4 days is pretty solid as far as being aggressive. So next thing I'm going to do is send another email, right? This is going to be my 3rd one. So I'm going in here and I'm sending in my example 3, right? Send that. And you know what? I'm going to change up the time. I'm going to do it at 2 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. So I'm going to set the wait time 4 days again. Now, this is my suggestion. I like to be aggressive. I like to kind of just really go after it. It's my feeling that, you know, when they get email 1, if they don't respond, they need another email in 4 days. If they don't respond to that, why not email them 4 days later again? Don't have the theory that you're bugging people or bothering people. I really, really don't believe in that concept in recruitment and lead generation, because at the end of the day, if somebody wants to do business with you, they're going to do business with you, right? I don't buy in too much to the nuance of, well, maybe we should set it out at 8 days because, you know, they might have seen it and, you know, they're going to see it as a little bit bothersome and this. Listen, you need to get business generated and you need to do it on a volume basis and an aggressive basis. And so for that reason, that is why I do my 4-day set, right? So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna set my last one that I have set up. Just for example purposes, again, normally I would go into all the way to 7, but I'm gonna set this up and I'm gonna just do it again and like, how about 7 a.m. this time? So it kind of shows up in there. In their inbox first, right? So I'm gonna add that wait time. So boom, I've got action 1, 2, 3, 4. Normally I'd go up to 7, right? But for purposes of this video, I wanna keep it short. This is my email campaign. This is what's happening, right? So I am literally running this campaign right now. It's getting set. It's already triggered. So action 1's already set up. Then action 2 will run 4 days later, 3, 4 days later, 4 days later, and we'll see exactly what happens. On All Pro, on this particular tool, when someone responds to my email, they actually get pulled out of the campaign. So they're no longer getting emails from me, right? That would be really annoying if someone did. If somebody unsubscribes, they're out of the campaign. So they're not going to continuously get emails and emails and emails. The more you can get on somebody's radar, the better. That's setting up a quick and easy email campaign with a particular list, right? And running it, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna hop out of my computer. I'm gonna go back on camera, and I'll chat with you guys there.
All right, guys. So that is a really, really quick and easy example of an email follow-up campaign. Now, a few quick things just to take note of, right? So we did 4-day intervals, right? So they're getting an email every 4 days on that campaign. And every email is a new email. It's a brand new sequence, brand new information, maybe something more valuable than the previous email, right? That kind of thing. And some kind of call to action on every single email. You should already know that, right? But going forward, again, 7 emails in total are in the campaign. I only did 4 just for example purposes to keep it short, but 7 really should be where you're at, because on average, to get a reaction, to get a response, it takes 6 to 8 touches overall to make a sale, to make a conversion, to get a response. All of that stuff has been shown to be true. With that being said, you should 100% make sure that you're following up with every single email lead that you ever send an email to. Reason being is you're going to be leaving thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table if you're not following up. As people say, and I said before, the fortune is always in the follow-up. Listen, join my Facebook group, 6-Figure Recruiters. There's 7,000 plus recruiters in there that you can mingle with, interact with, and you'll get a ton of information in there. I'm in there answering tons of questions. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Slap a like on this video if you got any value out of it, and hit the alert button so you know every single time I come out with a brand new video. Until then.